What's going on, everyone? This is Corey here from Corey Loses on Corey Loses and GB Gaming. I'm here with Bane from GB Gaming and Star Trek Armada 3, as well as Draconis and Zermi, if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hello! This is Bane
Hello.
from GB Gaming. How you doing?
Hello.
And we're going to be playing some Star Trek Armada 3. This is the Call to Arms version. It is not the new one that's coming up, but there will be some links in the description of, I'm sure, my video and Bane's video. This is going to be going up on both channels if you want to see different perspectives to the mod as it is released now. And I'm sure there will be some information there on the upcoming version, which, when's that coming out? Because every modder likes hearing that question.
Soon. Towards Christmas, we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. We try to release for Christmas, but you know what we like to say, Corey, as I'm sure you do. It's done when it's done.
All right, so we are taking on the Borg here as a 4v1 strategy going on. That's always fair. And what difficulty did you put it on, Bane?
Godlike? No, I'm joking. Hard.
I'm pretty sure I'm closest to them right now. Or
I don't
one
know.
of the two.
It could
Not
be,
sure.
It could be between me and Draconis. You never know. It could be near Zermi. But, I mean, either way, we will help the player that is nearest. That's the plan.
All right,
I
so
just realised I have no money, so...
like I mentioned here, this will be going up on both Corey Loses and GB Gaming. From my perspective, obviously, it'll be on Corey Loses. I am playing as the Cardassians, and it'll be Bane's perspective on GB Gaming. And I forget who you were playing as. Romulans?
I am playing as the Romulans because they're just awesome.
Right. I have very little idea what I'm doing, so I will...
I would suggest building scouts to scout things. And that's pretty much my best advice to you.
Yes.
But no, really, starting off like most things was starting off with research that improves your economy,
For the Union.
capturing more planets for the economy. But just a tip, Corey,
Yes.
don't capture a Class M world if it's close to you too quickly, because that can kill your economy. Takes a lot to settle one of those.
I will keep that in mind. I think that is one of the things I did know.
It can be troublesome. I'm going to be honest with you if you take it too early. And obviously, because I didn't put quick start on, building a capital yard to get your free capital ship, which I have just done myself. So have you played a mod 3 before, Corey? Is this your first time?
I've played the mod a few times before. It just has been a couple months now since I've really sat down and played it, which means I am that's forever in internet time. So it's
awaiting.
It is a while. It is a while.
Standing by.
How do you find it in comparison to because obviously capital ships in Star Trek are strong, but not as strong as say a Star
Awaiting
Destroyer.
further
for example.
orders.
well, I'll usually go to mod database and then just in the top search bar there I'll type Armada 3, or I'll go into my notifications because there's usually something in there as well.
Awaiting further orders.
See, because you asked how do I find it, and I thought that would be a funny thing to say,
Standing
but apparently
by.
not. So
No, it was reasonably funny. I should have laughed. I'm sorry. I should remember that. I should laugh. Just automatically laugh.
All stations ready.
no, I do appreciate the pity laughs, but
Yes. Awaiting further orders.
I do like that it's easier to manage the capital ships with the differences there. Star Wars, there's just so much
All stations ready.
shit going on that
Standing by.
sometimes it's hard to tell what's your capital ship, what's your cruiser, and why anyone should really care.
What will you have me
It's
do?
a lot more clear with
Setting a course.
Star Trek.
You know, a galaxy is awesome.
All stations ready.
I'm pretty
Right.
certain it's
Standing
either near
by.
me or Corey.
Could be. Have you seen a Borg? If you see a Borg scout cube, you know.
Uh,
I think he's between
All
Bane,
stations ready.
or between Sermi and Corey.
Did I not send these scouts out to
For the
scout?
Union.
I did not.
You need to make sure they're set to auto cast, auto explore.
For the Union.
Right.
All stations ready.
So I've cleared the starter planets
Standing
around
by.
my world. I'm going to capture me first.
In my past playthroughs, I've usually played as the
Our scouts
Romulans.
have discovered a new world.
And why would you not? Because they're the best race
Our
ever.
scouts have discovered
Right?
a new world.
Absolutely, man.
Those
I would argue with that one, but okay.
Why would you want to play as the Federation?
What will you have me do?
Why would you want to play as the Federation? Their ships aren't green and round.
Our scouts have
Well, they're
discovered a
round,
new
but they're not
world.
typically
They're
green.
not. They're not typically green. They're kind of like all white and shiny. And
Just because I
Helmet.
don't like the colour
Full
green
impulse.
doesn't mean... Oh, never mind.
What do you have against
Why would you-
green?
yeah,
What do you have against grey?
is it grey or is it cream or is it white? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? This is a debate I think worth having. You know,
Our scientists have developed.
I just
new
can't look at the
technology.
Federation ships without thinking of that that episode where they have the language based on metaphors,
Reinforcements have arrived.
and that
Move us to war.
I can't do it.
it depends what metaphor you're thinking of there, doesn't it? Really?
It's the Darmok and Jalad at Tenegra. something?
Yeah.
That episode was frustrating on so
For the
many levels.
Union. Fire weapons.
You heard it here first. Corey gets frustrated with Star Trek. It's the fin. So how is the ascendancy going? I should ask you that as well. So we're playing a lot of free, but how is the ascendancy going, Corey?
Well, at the moment, I am mostly focusing on Imperial Civil War, so it is
Reporting for duty.
really just testing that we're doing for some of the stuff. The biggest
Yeah.
thing that's left is there's some significant expansions going on with the Empire of the Hand roster. In the past versions, the Empire of the Hand's ships have essentially been able to do too much because they had to do too much because there were too many gaps in their unit list, especially
Yeah.
with capital ships. So like you have
Yeah.
the phalanx that can basically be a huge tank while putting out a ton of damage.
They will know
When
the
it's supposed to
glorious
really just
might
be
of
a bit more
Cardassian.
fragile but still fairly powerful. And so there's like 2 or 3 new capital ships that we're putting into the next version that should alleviate a lot of that,
Standing by.
and we can actually dedicate them to their specific roles and not have them be ready for every occasion. And that's going to be the biggest thing we have to do, is making up those designs, because it's a bit more time consuming than just creating things you have a reference for.
Yeah.
Engage hostiles.
It's really hard to tell ever how long it's going to take to come up with a design, at least when there is something you can know, okay, even if it's a really hard model, this is going to take me X amount of hours, but when making stuff up, it's just sitting there in max, staring at nothing and hoping that something comes out at some point.
Attack that
I think
target.
it's the same thing that our guys are finding with, because they're obviously working on the Infinities at the moment, and they're so working
Right.
on the Enterprise era.
Awaiting further
And obviously-
orders.
You see certain ships from Enterprise, like Romulan and things, and then it's kind of like also looking at things like faster designs from the 80s and going,
Our
actually,
scientists have
so what we could do
developed
with
new technology.
trying to make up some ships because they either look like terribly 80s
Right.
or way too modern. So it's like trying to come across between something that kind of works around, like even for like for even for TOS, it's quite like Romulan ships.
Standing
What would
by.
they look like right now?
Found it.
Apparently roughly cut out cardboard propped up against a wall.
Well, you know, the big joke was I found a Borg Scout Cube. That's nice for me.
It's near it, closer to me than
Lead
Corey.
us.
Oh, thank
Another
God.
planet for the Union.
Not by
Ah.
much.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
It's only expanding really quickly. You know, it's just fine. How do we want to play this? Do we want to try and bottleneck the Borg, or
What results in the least likely chance of me dying a horrific death?
really? It depends who the Borg
Our
decides is
troops have
weakest and wants to
occupied a
pick on.
new world.
So if I like whisper to them, like offering one of you guys up as a sacrifice, do you think they'll let me be assimilated?
I think they're just going to come for you no matter what. That's what Borg
For the
tend to do. In
Union.
fact, I think they'll probably attack everyone
Awaiting your
equally. They
command.
seem to like that as well.
Adjusting course.
If we
Helmsman.
point out that
Full
Draconis
impulse.
is the strongest of us all,
I
then hopefully they'll
cannot
leave the rest of us alone.
Well, they'll have to go through Surmi first.
That's right. We'll use Zermi as a scapegoat. Sorry, Zermi.
I don't know if we necessarily have to
I
go
remember
with that.
this.
If Zermi just doesn't expand past those next two planets there, Sebastia and Uniki, you can just go through the two next to the sun and get directly to Draconis through there. I don't know why I'm helping plan the Borg invasion, but I'm just
Just like help the Borg. Yeah,
Move us
Borg,
to
by the way,
war.
if you do this, you know, it's just incentivize you to not
Our
attack
fleet
me.
has
you know.
arrived.
if I were a cyborg race bent on galactic domination, then
Lead us. Get us moving.
I would do this, not this.
Standing by.
I'm not sure they're bent on galactic domination necessarily as
Double
much
the
as
work details
just
in all
improving their
processes.
lot,
We need more
like
dilithium.
wanting to make themselves better.
Awaiting your
apparently.
command.
well, from my experience watching or playing any sort of Star Trek thing that typically just involves something in the way of galactic domination.
Setting a course.
Unless you're just saying it's incidental, which,
It's
I
just-
mean,
it just happens to be, yeah.
I'm sure that's a huge comfort to all the people affected by the Borg assimilation.
Helmsman. Full
Incidentally,
impulse.
you guys look cool, and we just kind of wanted your people to help us improve ourselves. So, but did you have to conquer the entire race? Well, yes, because how could we be sure we got all the knowledge without taking your entire race under
Transfer
our
all
wing?
power to weapons.
But like Star Wars, there's lots of canon in Star Trek that doesn't actually make
Target that
sense.
vessel.
It's mainly the thought of like where they cut seasons short at the end. They had to make it really dramatic. Let's like Voyager just ruined everything.
Then they have to
True.
write Will Wheaton out of the show for some reason.
Yeah.
What is an aceton assimilator going to do to me? I feel like it's not going to do anything.
It just kind of temporarily disables your ships, but I won't worry about it too
Okay.
much. You'll be alright. You're a big boy, you can handle it.
I've always liked all the little
Our
different
troops have occupied a new world.
independent
I cannot
groups.
comply.
You never know who you're going to conquer.
What will you have me do?
It's nice. It's getting expanded in the new version, actually.
I cannot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the pictures.
Yeah, it's going to be
Awaiting your command.
so. But basically, the Final Frontier is our kind of effort to kind of like really push Sins to its final limits. I mean, it's not that
It's
we're not
Final
pushing
Frontier?
Sins already. Yeah, it's Final
Moving.
Frontier. See what I did there? Look at that. Whee! So basically, it's a massive overhaul of planets. We've added loads of planet textures in. We're changing the gravity
Move
well
us to war.
sizes and all kinds of things, which has kind of broken the game in some ways. We have to so work proactively to make sure it still works. And lots of new planetary bonuses. In fact, so many planetary bonuses. There's probably not necessarily to have that
Construction
many,
work is
but
complete.
you know what the heck. And quite game changing population sizes in some of the worlds as well. So there'll be worlds people will want to fight over. So that's the plan. And then there will be there'll be maps that also that are designed for competitive play as
stations
well.
ready.
So
And you are in
Awaiting your command.
and a semi-open beta at least.
We will
right?
know
Right?
the glorious
semi-open.
might of Cardassia.
That's been very controversial for us because people are like,
Transfer
oh,
all
it's not
power
an
to
open beta, but
weapons.
I know you understand, Corey, because you use a similar system. It's very hard to
Yeah.
have an open beta where you can send
Transfer all
update
power to
files as you get
weapons.
feedback
Yeah.
with Sins without using something like Git. So
Standing by.
having Git in itself means people have to sign up and we have to add them to the Git. So it does
Reporting
require
for
them to
duty.
contact us. So
An
it's as
excellent
open
plan.
as in the fact that we're not saying, right, you
All
can't be a
stations
part
ready.
of this. It's
Acquire target
it's more
and
to the point
fire.
that we're saying actually,
Attack that
you can be in the
target.
beta, but you're just going to have to jump through a few hoops to get there. And some people have been like, well, that's not a
Engage
true open beta. And then we're like, well, it's as good as we can get.
Whenever we've done betas, I don't know if your experience has been similar, I'm sure it probably has, but there's always this
Standing
strange lack of understanding that the point of the beta is actually to test the mod. And
Yeah.
not just, this is a release and we're going to call it a beta because
All stations ready.
I don't know what they think the reasoning behind that would be. But they just assume that,
Construction work
well,
is
it's out
complete.
now and this is the
Attack
final
that
version and I
target.
don't need to actually report anything. This is just here.
Yeah,
Acquire target and
I
fire.
kind of like consoled myself to the fact that people were
Attack that
gonna
target.
sign up.
Standing
Because to be
by.
frank, half the team were unsure about doing it. I think it was me more so that
Awaiting
kind
your
of pushed
command.
that side. But
Target that
I think now
vessel.
that we've kind of settled on it, it's
All hands
we've
ready.
agreed as a team
Get
that
us moving.
that there are going to be a
I
few that
cannot
will sign up to
comply.
Open Beta, not contribute anything, and just try to get a new version of the mod, which is fine. But
Standing
at the same
by.
time, they're going to have to understand that they're going to be sorely disappointed by the
Engage
fact that
hostiles.
at the end of the day, what we're trying to
Standing
do
by.
is get ongoing feedback over the next sort of month to
I
really make
cannot
sure that
comply.
we're following the right track of what people expect from something like the Final Frontier, given its name.
Right.
And I think that's always the tricky
Construction
bit
work is
is making sure
complete.
people aren't disappointed, but also trying to make sure you get valuable feedback
Standing
from a
by.
beta test. And it can be difficult, as you know. It's like, you know, people
Transfer all power
are
to
also
weapons.
want to try the mod, but give some feedback, but then they
Right.
give feedback on things that aren't actually what you asked them to give feedback
Setting
on.
a
Like,
course.
you know, we had one today saying, "Can you change the
Our
way
scientists have developed a new
the Borg
technology.
star bases work?" And we're like, "Well, we're kind of okay with where the Borg star bases are right
We
now.
will
You know,
know the
it's, thank you
glorious
for your
might of
feedback, but we're not
Cardassian.
planning to change that
Transfer
at
all
this
power
time."
to weapons.
And we get all the usual things like there's stuff that we haven't done. Like, are you going to add the Sovereign X class from Star Trek Online? And we're like, we will not add Star Trek Online ships to the mod.
What will you have me do?
Not because we don't like Star Trek Online, but just more because in our time zone, the Star Trek
Construction
Online
work
hasn't
is
happened yet.
complete.
So,
Right.
you know, it's not the future. It's now
They
in the
will know
Dominion
the
world.
glorious might of Cardassia.
Yeah, it happens with us a lot too, where we'll get suggestions for like, oh, the Remnant used this ship class. The Pelion Star Destroyer was like, no, they used that, like literally 40 to 100 years after
Our
the mod
scientists
ends.
have developed new technology.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get
Transfer
all the
all power
requests
to
to have like
weapons.
the use on Bond bit and
Target
stuff like that as well,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to see the organic race, and then I said this to the, I get on really well with Narvo, he does Since Galactic Empire, and he's got the user mod in it, and I did a playthrough for GB Gaming,
Lead us.
and I did say to Lava, I said, Lava, I love your mod, but the user mod ships, they are some of the
Awaiting
ugliest
further
models
orders.
I've ever seen in a computer game ever. Full
Changing
stop.
heading.
It's just like horrible to look at. And he says, "Yeah, I agree with you, but people wanted to use them one." So, I get it.
Double
I
the
get
work
it.
details in ore processing. We need more
Oh
dilithium.
dear. But I mean, they were fun to play in the sense of like they like massively OP in terms of they heal themselves up as ships because they're organic, but they just look so ugly, so ugly. So. But yeah, we're not going to add guys Star Trek Online ships in. I'm sorry, but we're not going to do it.
What will you have me do?
So how are we doing? Everyone looks like they're getting loads of planets. I'm just talking. I've only got 5 planets total now.
I've got 4. You're
I've only just captured my
Construction work
I
is
should say.
complete.
I'm sure if I looked at Draconis, he's probably got about 15 or something silly by now. Is that right, Draconis?
Move us
No.
to war.
No,
I know, I'm just taking my time.
I cannot
I am
comply.
shocked.
I really should have gone to Lutetia here. But
I think I need to get Tomalok in. That's what my next. I've not even got Tomalok in it. How embarrassing,
Our fleet has arrived.
right?
right? Absolutely should have a hero class in right now.
We are yours to command.
Construction work is complete.
Bane says desperately, trying to get a Tomalok in.
Awaiting further orders.
That's the bit I keep forgetting.
Construction
Romulans,
work
I
is
remind myself,
complete.
Romulans aren't that good without the upgrades, Bane. You kind of need capital ships. That's the whole point. In this mod, if you don't have capital ships, you will die horribly.
Attack that target.
Awaiting your command.
When do I get to pick who I want to be here?
You should be able to do it pretty early on in the tech tree. So it's in the combat tree.
A little suggestion: when you start seeing where the Borg's coming through, they'll come through one system. Dump a starbase there.
But then they might destroy it. Why wouldn't I put it somewhere safe?
No. You
Construction work is
get
complete.
your strongest starbase, upgrade it to
Target
hell and high
vessel.
water, and then we all start doing so, and that
Standing
hopefully
by.
the Borg stick there. That's what we've done in the past to stop them. They
I'm
just kind of
pretty
bottleneck.
sure Corey was joking there.
Okay, sorry.
Why would I build all these pretty ships and then have a
Shit,
chance
what-
that they might get shot?
Why would you do that?
Construction work is
You're in the
complete.
wrong rod then.
We actually put an invulnerability buff on all of our ships in Ascendancy so that no one ever has to worry about their ships being destroyed or their feelings getting hurt.
So basically, no one you can never win
Acquire
it.
target.
You can never lose in Ascendancy
Engage
And you can never
hostiles.
lose. You can never
We are
win.
yours to command.
until the New Republic, like, eventually culture bombs you or something. I don't know.
No, don't even joke about that. Again, going back to the other Star Wars world, the Instant Galactic
Increasing
Empire,
engine
that
output.
actually happens. Like, I got culture bombed by the rebellion. There's nothing I could do. It was quite sad for me.
Attack.
So culture is one of those things you have to try and get right. I think we've got a good balance now. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but
Acquire target.
it
and fire.
can be overwhelming sometimes. Culture.
Can I
To
colonize
the
this
point.
planet? The J class without research? I'm guessing J stands for Jupiter somehow.
J class. No, there's an actual. These are all Star Trek
Yeah,
designations.
but
so
I'm assuming the J came from
probably
Jupiter.
from Jupiter. It's a
Awaiting
gas giant,
further
isn't it?
orders.
I think so yeah. I'm just having. I've got a nice like bottleneck
And fire.
here at this like large Class K adaptable, so I feel quite safe behind this. I can colonize it. Corey, you're not that far from me actually.
I'm not. I'm gonna leave you most of that little area down there, because you're gonna get choked up in the Draconis and Corey hug of death pretty soon.
That's right. I'm okay with this.
Well,
'Cause class-
from your
class
perspective,
K
it's the
Upgrade
Corey and
to new
Draconis meat shield.
technology.
So
Absolutely, that's what I mean. I'm okay with this.
This little corner.
All hands ready.
in the past, have you
I
been
cannot
doing
comply.
like closed betas where you'd pick specific testers, or do you have a different system for that?
Generally, we tended to do betas where we would actually interview the people that were testing, so we could make sure that we were
Right.
getting the kind of candidates,
What
if
will
you
you
like,
have
that
me
we
do?
wanted. I mean, I will say it hasn't always worked out that way. You know, sometimes you people can give the
Adjusting
good talk, as they
course.
say, and then not walk the walk.
Right.
So it has been hit or miss. But generally, I would say that we've been lucky to have some really fantastic
Our
beta testers.
scientists have
And
developed
to
a
give
new
you an
technology.
example, and I'm sure you won't mind me embarrassing him, but at the moment we've got a really nice young lad called Feekstar, who's one of our beta testers, and he's been so helpful. We've actually allowed him to come into some of the dev channels to actually talk with us on a lot of the decisions we make as well, because he's been such a good giving us such good feedback. And so, and you know, even I, Corey, right at the beginning, I actually started as a beta tester, believe it or not, for like a really early beta, pre the original release, even like 0.95, when it was just kind of Goal and
Awaiting your
Max.
command.
And I just said to them, yeah, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken, and this is broken, which
They
at
will
the
know the
time was
glorious
Intrepid's
might
plan,
of
because it feels
Cardassian.
for real. And
An excellent plan.
they said, hey, do you want to help us develop this game? And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And then, coincidentally, I think the same kind of happened with Draconis. You know, we released version 1, and Draconis here and a guy called LV Riachi were in a community dev game with us, and they kicked mine and Max's ass, and we were playing Romans. We're like, we won't get defeated. They both played
Awaiting
clean
your
on us
command.
and showed us that the Negvar needed a little bit more tweaking. So Draconis agreed to join us shortly after that, which was good. And Zermi, I think you came along just a little bit after that, didn't you, from memory?
Yes, in the just roughly when CTA was released.
Yeah. So, and I feel since then we've been really
Construction work
blessed,
is
really,
complete.
by all the kind of work
What
people
will
have
you
put
have me
into the
do?
mod and helped out with. So,
We are yours to command.
you know, yeah, I would say beta testers that we have had, we've been very lucky. So.
Yeah, a few of our staff followed a similar trajectory, like Slorny, who's I guess I'd say second most involved in like the planning for Imperial Civil War, at least.
All stations ready.
He started as a beta tester in like 2007, and now it's usually, as far as design meetings go, it'll be me and him that are planning like all the GC layouts. So like gameplay mechanics, that'll be the entire team, but as far as people willing to dig through the lore that is the mess that is Star Wars lore, that's usually me and him that do that.
Yeah.
What will you have me do?
A lot of the team, especially from the coding side, it's usually more from there that you get beta testers rising through.
Which I think is good, isn't it? I think, again, it's nice that you can have
All hands ready.
Standing
that
by.
kind of level
Increasing
of
engine
involvement from
output.
beta testers that they're willing also to eventually join you in helping actually craft a computer game, you know?
Right.
Moving.
We've usually the way we've done it, whenever we've posted a... Wait a minute.
Acquire target and fire.
These appear to be Borg ships that are in my space. But usually when we've been picking testers, we'll do like an open call and then ask people to post. And in the thread, we'll usually say, like, if we've never heard from you before and the only post you've made between like Mod Database or the forums or Facebook or anything is, I want to test, then you're very likely not going to get picked. We'll say this directly in the top thing.
Hostiles.
And it's caused some issues where people get upset and like, oh, well, being a beta tester shouldn't be based on how many posts you have. Like, you're missing the point. We're just trying to make sure that you can give actual useful feedback, and I'm going to get killed by the Borg, and that wasn't really a very well-flowing sentence there. But
I will... I don't have any ships to lend you at the moment, unfortunately, to come rescue you.
when I said I liked the green ships earlier, this is not what I had in mind.
It's the wrong type of green ships, right?
Awaiting your
Like,
command.
I can actually get to you with, like, I can
Standing
start
by.
sending ships down to help you in a minute. I don't really need to expand much more.
Does this
Fleet
look like a
side.
fight to you guys that I should bother
The obelisk.
trying
you can
to...
take the obelisk. Yeah, you can
There's
beat the obelisk.
Two spheres, though.
Is there spheres there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
crap,
sphere,
run,
there's this
run,
Borg Queen Cloud. Okay,
and-
Unimatrix 670
run.
wouldn't... Yeah, I'm not...
Adjusting
Run very
course.
fast.
That's a hero,
That-
right?
Setting a course.
Yeah, that's the queen. That is the queen. That's the queen. Why have they come for you?
I don't know.
That's interesting. I think I need to send... Let me send my fleet over...
Helmsman. Full impulse.
I don't have much, but what I have I will send. I think you're going to be the primary target.
What will you have me do?
Sorry, Corey.
Oh well.
You know, you did say you wanted to be the primary target, right?
I don't remember that being what I said exactly, but...
I'm pretty sure you said you wanted to be the one that faced off against the Borg, right? You wanted to be our meat shield. That was...
That's never gonna stand up in court, but...
I'm pretty... Guys, didn't he say that? Didn't Corey say he wanted to take the honour of fighting?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
The honor?
The
Am
honour,
I playing
yeah.
as the Klingons now?
The honour.
I would say yes, but I heard it from you.
Oh, right, you want me to... Oh, I see. Just put it all on the Bane.
Standing by.
I was going to be really nice then and actually send...
Some scouts to watch me die?
Oh, damn it, he's
Awaiting
got
your
pyramids.
command.
Oh, there's a trapezoid as well. Oh, damn it. Run!
I feel like I'm getting a full geometry lesson right now. I don't like it.
All
You
stations
you're
ready.
in. You actually
Setting
have a
a
lot of
course.
nasties. I need to get some ships over to you, and I'm going to send. Guys, can we start? We're going to need to start turtling in a second, I think.
Okay, I'm just getting my economy up. I'm about to start feeding.
Who's got the
Standing
wormhole
by.
link to Corey's wormhole at a Catlan? Anyone? know?
I knew I was about to send some ships,
Our
but
reinforcements have arrived.
If only I had invested anything into my military research.
Yeah,
Awaiting
that's a
further
bit of advice I
orders.
try to give to most players is that we find a lot of players just go for ships rather than actually going for any kind of research. Well, like you really need to get some research, like low tier research up.
Yeah, I researched pretty deep into my civilian tree because I assumed
Awaiting
I'd
further
have
orders.
more time before I got completely assimilated. Wait, my ships are getting out. We might lose this rascal. Yep, that's good. Okay. Gonna have to write some more letters to home.
Standing by. All stations ready.
Will they be pleased with just one
All
planet?
stations ready.
I doubt it.
They're quite greedy.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
All stations ready.
I do have all my heroes right now, so
All stations ready.
I'll send the fleet over.
You have
Our
all your
scientists
heroes.
have developed a
Is that
new
what you just said?
technology.
Yes.
So you're full tiered research already. Damn it! I need to stop talking and start concentrating.
Standing by.
This is embarrassing.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
Gonna research some defense platforms and stuff.
Moving.
I've got. I'm just getting my last tier 8 economy.
I'm also gonna send a starbase constructor over.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I've got an outpost constructor on its way. Mind you saying that.
Our scientists have
I've got loads of
developed a new
asteroids around
technology.
me everywhere.
Don't forget, put next to each other and repair ability first.
If I get
Yep.
a second Janissary for my second capital ship, am I gonna regret that, or should I wait for a different?
I would wait for a different.
Our scientists have developed.
Have you got your
a new
hero yet? Have you got
technology.
gold to
I
cut?
do not.
I would get gold to cut. That would be what I would do.
I need to get to, I believe, level 3. Do I need to declare for the Cardassian Union before I can do that?
Yes. No, you can get gold to
Our
cut no matter
reinforcements
what
have
ratio, but
arrived.
you've got
Okay.
incoming enemies into your territory now. So, guys, if you've got a fleet, we need to get it over to Corey ASAP.
All of my Romulan knowledge is useless here.
Awaiting further orders. Acquire target and fire. Changing heading.
Our scientists have developed a new technology. Our reinforcements have arrived.
Ooh, cost decrease. I like cost decrease.
Standing
Do you
by.
want to pull your fleet away as quickly as you can? Take out the
Moving.
obelisks, actually, Corey, because they're going to bomb your world.
Acquire target and fire.
Calling this a fleet is fairly generous of you.
We have come under attack. We must respond. Construction
What
work
capital
is
ship should I go
complete.
for? If I want to not die?
Construction work is complete. Reinforcements have
Any
arrived.
capital ship, to be fair, that's better than your world is taking damage. Romulans
Uh,
are here
Scientists
to
have
back you
developed
up.
a new technology.
Alright, so I should have Gull pretty soon. Or Gull Ducat.
All stations ready. Engage hostiles.
We've taken out one Borg ship.
There you go, Corey.
Standing by.
Money is.
I'm gonna start putting up some defense platforms here.
Yep, that sounds like a good idea.
All
They're running
stations
away.
ready.
Yeah, they will. They'll be back though.
Construction
No, they
work
won't.
is complete.
Peace in our time. Peace in our time.
Keep on
Our
praying, buddy.
scientists have developed a new technology.
Hey, the last time someone named Chamberlain said that, it worked out well for everyone.
Yeah, so well.
Awaiting
So
further
well.
orders.
I don't think I should have mentioned my last name in this content. Oh well.
Everyone knows who you are now.
Last time that happened, my information ended up on Craigslist.
And everybody wanted to be your
All
friend.
stations ready.
Claim to fame.
Alright, so we're fairly confident they're going to attack here again then, I'm assuming.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
We will see. We're going to try, I think, and I'm going to send a cloaked vessel. I'm just going to cloak one of my ships and send them over to the large L to see what's actually happening over there. So here I go. That's the great bit about being Romulan, is I can cloak and go check.
Construction work is complete.
Off goes my cloak ship. We've got Klingons here to back us up now as well. A large Klingon force. Always trusting the Klingons.
Alright, I believe I have Gull. There we go.
For too long, we Cardassians have yielded to the outrageous demands of the Federation and its allies.
There's the Queen has
We
turned
must
up where the Klingons
allow
are.
this to
Behind you,
transpire.
Rick. Behind you.
Oh.
The Queen is in
Awaiting
Corey's
further
overworld.
orders.
Wait,
Moving.
why are they...
Our reinforcements
So they have all those
arrived.
planets.
Right, they've
now,
actually
that
not
sucks.
taken the Class L. I think they've gone
personally
around.
be commanding all Cardassian vessels during this mission.
Might want to check
Our scientists have
Pit, yeah.
developed a new technology.
Changing heading.
I'm going to build another set of defense platforms at this world too. I don't think they're going to be able to stop significant attack at this point, but...
I cannot comply. Construction work is complete. Our reinforcements have arrived. I cannot comply.
Okay, I'll get a Keldon and I will
Our
choose
colony
my
is under
loyalty.
siege.
Right, found a
We have come
Borg
under attack.
system.
We must respond.
Yeah, they're expanding towards your other avenue.
For too long, we
come on,
Cardassians have
Hawk, you
yielded
need
to
to
the
get out there
outrageous
before they,
demands of the
track you.
Federation and its allies.
Our reinforcements have arrived. Our scientists have developed a new technology.
Entering phase space.
Construction work is complete. Construction work is
That's the
complete.
one.
Standing by.
Come on, research. Go quicker.
Oh shit.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
What's the matter, Zoe?
I got a
Attack that
trapezoid.
target.
We are
Ooh,
yours to command.
that's bad for you.
And a pyramid.
That's definitely
All
bad for you. That
stations
means they're
ready.
now attacking you.
Construction work is complete.
I just tried to give an order
Awaiting
to one of
further
Bane's
orders.
ships. That's probably not going to work out
Increasing
for me.
engine output.
No, I'm going to pull my fleet out of that system and head over to assist Draconis, because we've got some star bases going up now. Well, I've got an outpost. Rick's got a star base.
We
I'm going to
do
get
not
the
have
threat
required
detection
technology.
research.
We are yours to command.
There's a queen and a trapezoid over
Moving.
in the class Shattered. They've taken the Shattered.
Our reinforcements have
I'm
arrived.
going to just drop down to the wormhole. My antimatter's running low, so they may actually
Adjusting course.
find me on a minute.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
I really should have researched more frigate prototypes than I did, but...
Yeah, really, you need to get up to like Norins, etc. Because you're playing Cardassian Union, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, you want to get Norins and things like that, really.
Our
They're turning around
reinforcements
for
have
the moment.
arrived.
That's it, Zermi. You hold them off on the other flank. I'm thinking of you, buddy. I'm right there with you, but not actually there with
Our
you.
scientists have developed a new technology.
Giving you moral support, the least useful
That's
kind
right.
of support.
I cannot comply.
I like to think I'm being helpful.
I'm engaging the Borg.
You're engaging. See that this is what I mean. Draconis is already there. He's like, I've got this. Don't you worry.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
We have engaged the Borg. Oh, there's a lot of Borg ships there. Not that it matters to Draconis, because I just saw a really big explosion, so I think they just lost their capital ship.
They've got probes coming in too. There's some green going on in this system. So how much of the factions is based on, this is probably not the right time to bring this up, but how much of the factions is based on in-universe stuff versus having to be designed by you guys or from third parties?
A lot of the ships that we use are from other Star Trek computer games that are made in the past, so like Bridge Commander and Star Trek Armada itself, because we wanted Armada 3 to be the spiritual successor to Armada 1 and 2, so a lot of the ships came from that.
The numbers check out.
Yeah, I think really the main races we've had to kind of fudge ships for are the Dominion and the Cardassians. So some are actually like concepts from Armada 2, and some we've changed the design slightly. So, but generally a lot of it is from other computer games. So, and to the point that we are also recreating a lot of stuff that was in the series that you don't see in many computer games. So, right. For example, so I can kind of give you a bit of an exclusive on is we have actually today implemented the Echo Pupper drone, which was seen in the episode where Picard is injured. And Crusher is looking after him, and it was like a weapons testing sales kind of exercise by a long-dead race. And there were these drones that spawned and attacked the Enterprise. So we've actually created that drone as a random event for the Final Frontier. So
okay.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
And that's not even gone up as a screenshot yet. So that's just for you, Corey. There you go.
Oh, I feel so special.
You should.
Awaiting further orders.
But we've tried to. I think the big thing we took was when we released the first version, we had some quite prominent YouTubers review it. So we had like Total Biscuit do a review, and Angry Joe and people like that, and Nerd Cubed. And we took a lot of their feedback, and they said a lot of the races felt samey. So for Call to Arms, we tried to diversify the race, so they're actually all play slightly differently. So I'm quite proud, as I'm sure Draconis and Zermi are, but I think the biggest one actually is probably the Romulans and the Borg and how they changed, because they didn't get a lot of love in the version 1, and I was kind of like wished I could have done more with them, because I kind of had to like do a lot of the abilities for the Borg and the Romulans in the version 1 on my own. And as you know, that's quite a lot of work when you're doing factions. So when we had a bigger team, we kind of looked at really sort of making each faction unique. So obviously the thing with the Romulans is they just get this massive amount of capital ships in comparison to the other factions. But to restore that balance, what we've done is we've actually made their cruisers a lot weaker. So they're about 20% weaker on average, their cruisers, than the other factions. That doesn't mean they're terrible, but it means you need to focus on utilising that capital ship advantage where you can.
Right away. Your orders.
And the Borg, well, the Borg just didn't feel right at all, really, from the off. So we've tried to just really make them feel like the Borg from TNG.
Your orders.
And so we removed in version 1. They actually had shields. We've actually got rid of their shields, so they're pretty much hull tankers in this game, which is quite unique to them.
Well, the Borg, there's kind of a choice you have to make there, whether you want them to be a sort of representation of what they would be in universe, where there's this giant galactic threat, which is what we're fighting against right now, versus something that fits in about the same with the other factions or is balanced that way. So
yeah,
like, this is something that I've talked to you and Gull about before, but did you have any changes in direction where you wanted to go with that recently, or? Because I do know there was
for the
something that
Borg
you said about
specifically.
having one version that's one and one version that's sort of taking it the
So-
other way. But
Gull was talked
We
about doing a
stand
mini
ready.
sub-mod with working with Draconis here, because Draconis already has a sub-mod that makes the Borg a little bit harder, I believe. Isn't that right, Draconis?
Standing by.
My submod is
They
basically
will know the glorious might
for the
of
player,
Dacians.
so that the player can feel like the actual Borg are in the released version of STA3 right now.
Which is stupidly powerful.
Yes.
Our scientists have developed
So yeah, I think Gull's one is more about sort of giving an
Awaiting
easier
further
version
orders.
of the
Engage
sort of Borg
hostiles.
faction, because a lot of people complain that the Borg are way too difficult. And so all it would be really is a case of changing the way the AI files work, not necessarily changing the faction massively, because in this we have hidden research for each AI faction that players can't see or research, but basically gives the AI extra ship slots, etc., etc. And we felt we had to do that because the AI in Sins,
All
as I'm sure you're
stations
aware,
ready.
isn't the best, like
Right.
most
Our
games.
scientists
So
have developed new
I think,
technology.
and again, this is all really again down to Draconis' work on the AI. I think we've kind of got the Sins AI to the best point it can be, because stock Sins is obsessed with certain ship types, as you know. So
All
it
stations
loves
ready.
carriers, it loves planetary bombers, things like that. So we've had to sort of implant codes into a lot of our
Our
ships
reinforcements have
to
arrived.
make the AI build certain types of ship. So, for example, I can't remember what you did, Draconis, but you did something to Defiant to make it build more Defiance, for example, didn't you?
Yeah, I basically put a tag on it
Our
that the AI
scientists have
likes to build,
developed new
so
technology.
I kind of switched things around. But I did some other things with the AI in the background,
We do not have the required
So
technology.
we tweaked a lot, haven't we?
like AI only ships for certain things.
Yeah, one of the things that's quite unique to that we added in the Call to Arms was this
More
whole
happening is
premise of
required.
base defences and outposts and star bases being sieged by siege vessels. So you have these
Our
kind of like
scientists
big,
have
powerful
developed
artillery
new
ships that are kind of
technology.
glass cannons, and you can put them in siege mode, obviously, to do massive amounts of damage to the star bases to take them out quickly. But the problem with that is the AI don't have that in the stock game, so they don't really know how to use the siege
Right.
ships properly. So there's
Well,
actually
they do have it in the stock game, like the anti-module ships. But
yeah.
the problem was if you put the tag on it,
Awaiting
it cannot
further
target
orders.
ships. But the way
Yeah.
we use it, we use ships that can, like all our ships can target ships. So the players can just use the, for example, the New Orleans, which is the Federation ship. They can target
Awaiting
ships, but
further
they
orders.
can manual target like modules. But the AI doesn't know how to use it, so we made a specific AI ship.
They're very much only targets
Yeah.
star bases, and so it's we had to do little tweaks just to make it work. But, it's been worthwhile.
Our scientists have developed a new technology.
So maybe I'm giving away too many Sins trade secrets here, but what they're referring to, for anyone who's not really familiar with how modding Sins work, is
What's money?
I'm good for money, thank you.
if you actually look at the
I'm actually-
trade here. Sorry?
Our scientists have
Just
developed a
trying
new
to get some-
technology.
More ministries up.
I've got 6 of 9 here.
7 of 9. Oh, there's a tack cube. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. We need to get back, Rick, because there's a tactical cube attacking.
What will you have me do? They will know the
joy.
glorious might
I've been
of
unable to
Dacia.
get a starbase as of yet, so
What shall we build?
Yeah, we're gonna send a fleet your way now.
Repair sequence activated. Awaiting further orders.
So I'm not helping much more, but I'm covering the other side because
reinforcements have
they're attacking me as well.
Oh, they're pushing into my direction also.
I cannot comply.
This is when the Borg become problematic.
I'm building a
reinforcements have
Titan now. Did I already? Yeah.
alright, I'm gonna try to get a constructor going.
Standing by.
Our scientists have developed new technology.
But the Borg sort of do have a similar design problem as far as like
Our reinforcements
the ideas you have to
arrived.
tackle as the Yuzon
We are
Vong
yours to
sort of do
command.
in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where it's like individually they're these things that are supposed to be extremely powerful, but they're also supposed to be overwhelming the galaxy. So it's
Standing by.
a bit hard to make a decision that everyone's going to be happy with, because some people want that threat that's super hard to play against, but then other people want to play as them, and then you sort of have to bounce around.
Yeah, we kind of had it for the last couple of
Target
years
that
where
vessel.
people have said to us, well, look, we want the Borg, like, you can't choose, the big bugbear of people is that they can't choose random as a faction, because
Right.
if they allow random in,
Have arrived.
then the Borg might turn up and then they just get, they get cracked on. And we kind of say to people, well, yeah, okay, you
Construction
might want to
crews
choose a
standing
random
by.
race to fight against, but to be fair,
What
roll
will
a
you
dice
have
or
me
something on your list. That works just as well. But I think
Target that
the
vessel.
feelings of the Borg is, I feel, we set out with the premise that the Borg were always going to be like a
Transfer all
god
power to
mode for this mod,
weapons.
and we've always
Right.
been clear about that direction. We've never lied about that.
Standing
We
by.
said the Borg are going to be the challenge mode, because we wanted to do something different as a mod when we came up with kind of the idea of making this particular mod, and we said this is what we want to do, and the whole design philosophy has been that there'll be this really tough multiplayer faction that people could team up against. And we've had people that have posted where they've actually defeated it first as a team against the godlike Borg. We were pretty impressed with that. And then we had a couple of guys that have actually completed the whole challenge, the hardest difficulty, on their own, which again was pretty impressive.
Standing by.
And we first of all thought, well, maybe they've exploited something,
They
but
will know
actually
the
it turns out
glorious
that they
might
literally
of Cardassian.
spent hours just like doing a defensive action, trying to hold the Borg off, and battled their way out of it. To the point, I think someone spent like 4 days playing a Borg ultimate kind of difficulty to just win through, which is quite impressive to us. So, I think because we knew we wanted that kind of challenge for people, we've been quite good about sticking to it and not bowing to peer pressure from people. Because I think that's always the hard choice. Is like you could just say, "All right, do you know what? Everyone's moaning now, and we're going to
All
change it."
stations ready.
But we've kind of
Construction
stuck to our
crews
guns.
standing
and
by.
I think the mod's the better for it. To be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I've always loved that aspect of it, so I'm glad you didn't band on that. Do I want
Yeah.
the Mona, the Stardock? No, that sounds less defensive.
Activate.
You want the Starbase, which is the Monad, yeah.
I might have to retreat to
Our scientists
help the
have
other
developed
front.
new technology.
Okay, I can handle this if you want to stay, if you want to head off. I'm getting into...
Awaiting
Basically, I've done the
further
thing of
orders.
Romulan turtling, so I'll be getting into Starship build mode now. AKA building a gigantic capital fleet.
We do not have the required technology. Our reinforcements have arrived. I cannot comply.
Where is that research?
We are the Borg.
What research are you looking for?
For the dock there.
So it should be under your... I can't remember what it's called on the Cardassians now, but you should have like a
Our
defensive
reinforcements
tree.
have arrived.
Right.
Yes.
And you should see one for... You should see like your outpost will be further down, and you should see
Our
the
scientists have
starbase
developed
further
new
up. So you should have one
technology.
like outpost construction and starbase
Yeah, I've got
construction.
the Mural class constructor here, and I'm just trying to figure out which one of these techs off of it is doing what I want it to do. But I can't find it.
Awaiting your command.
I might just not have the
The quiet
prereqs
technology.
here. I can't build any more research facilities because the Borg decided I didn't get to expand anymore. which was...
Right, so there's still a planet behind you called Icarian that you could take.
Yes.
Which I will go clear for you in a second with my other fleet.
My crew stands ready.
Actually, I think since that tactical heat's almost done, I can
Pirate,
take my leftover
full
ships from
impulse.
I'll be there, and I'll be
We
there.
are yours to command.
My crew stands ready.
Yes.
And I just got a message from Goal saying I'm finally home.
Your orders.
Pilot, full impulse.
We can get him in on the next mod we do.
The next playthrough.
We are yours to command.
Yep. Bane, could you
Our
push
reinforcements have arrived.
Antioch
Push onto...
so we can make a line, defensive line?
You want me to push Antioch, did you say? Yeah, okay, I can head that way. I think now
joined your channel.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Goal.
Hello.
Hey, Go.
Set them ready.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm home.
Full impulse.
Go is here joining us in the recording.
My apologies for the lateness. Have you already begun your match?
We have, unfortunately.
Oh, most
Right
upsetting.
away. Move.
Our reinforcements have What mod you playing?
Standing by.
We're playing Armada 3.
Who wants to do that?
We're having a good chat about
Right
design
away.
decisions in
Move.
Armada 3. We just had a chat about the Borg.
We actually made decisions.
Moving.
I believe so.
Oh.
We were going to talk about the Thrawn's Revenge method of putting up a nice dartboard, and then whatever it lands on, we
Plotting
do.
a new
I don't know if you guys have
I
ever
like
tried
it.
that, but it's a pretty good method. It's worked out well for us so far.
Standing by. Standing by. Awaiting
It's,
further
did a couple of
orders.
darts land in the
Attack
Praetor
that
at the same
target.
Well, we needed the Pentastar
Our
alignment to have a
scientists
ship that could put out
developed
damage,
new
so...
technology.
Attack that target.
Mind you, it's certainly not prevalent in Ascendancy, is it?
Awaiting.
In the same way.
We did... It's still way overtuned for what we want, I think, but when we were testing for the first release with, it was before the Pentastar alignment was even in, before the mod, even the first release of the mod was released. There was me and two other devs that did just a test that we recorded, and one of them just figured out that if he built Praetors, he would win.
Awaiting further
Praetors
That's-
and nothing
I think-
else.
I do think that's happened to us on several occasions with various different ships. It happened to us with our scouts at one point, the Nova Scouts. Progressed to, I think, quite some time ago, the Intrepids were way overpowered.
Standing by.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Awaiting your command.
There will probably be in other instances that I haven't noticed.
All stations ready.
I think it's pretty okay right now.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Is that because you don't let me do any balancing anymore?
I think
That
that's
must be
don't
it.
let Max do any balancing, ever. Again.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So-
Max, he certainly has a good time when he puts ships in.
Awaiting your
'cause,
command.
of course, Max will create the ship and then he'll actually put it directly into the game, which is quite useful from a...
They will know the glorious might of
I suppose
Cardassian.
from a development standpoint, but his balancing is, well, I don't think it happens, does it really? He just kind of
Helmsman.
puts a load of
Full
values in
impulse.
and whoop, off it goes.
I can respect that.
I like to
Setting a
cry
course.
sometimes about it. You know.
I'm just trying to think of some of the
Plotting a new
specifics.
course.
Recently,
Yeah.
the ISS Imperator.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Imperator, yeah.
Reporting for
We
duty.
had to talk to him to actually scale it back a
Move us
bit.
to war.
No, I
A
scaled
bit.
it back because it was 10 times as strong as it is now.
I think we've
I'm
got some fairly good
plotting a new
feedback on that
course.
from the beta testers, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
Kind of, they've given us
Activate
various different fleet
warp
compositions,
drive.
which seem to be quite reasonable. Which have beaten it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good spot right now.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
can like
beautiful ship as well.
All
can also
hands
give it
ready.
like some interesting
Reporting for
abilities
duty.
to make the fight more interesting.